Update on Remy and how he's feeling in front of. Is this going to linger all year, do you think, or could it get to where he feels good?
Well, I think it'll get to where he feels good. He played the other day, so and he's practicing. So, yeah, I don't know that he's quite where he needs to be, but he'll get there. Better. He obviously missed the game and then tested positive when he got back to Lawrence. Thank goodness he was not around anybody and isolated. But so he will miss tomorrow's game as well. Hopefully be back, later on this week. Yes. Yeah.
That was after he got home.
Well, he had a negative test in the morning, had a positive test in the afternoon. Yes. Not in the afternoon, at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he have a scout to fill in when he's a scout?
He's a scout. So Coach Quarterbaum will fill in on that. So he's got a good book on him.
Anybody else? We always have to ask every game. Anybody else got COVID or?
No. I don't even know if anybody else has anything going in except maybe a little bit of a bruised ego after poor performance on Saturday. But other than that, we should be okay, ready to go.
What did the tape tell you about last game?
I think from the jump, Texas Tech was obviously the more aggressive and the more amped up and the more competitive team. There were a lot of things that we did not do well at all, primarily on the defensive end and rebounding, that I think we're capable of doing much better at. I was very thankful we had two guys go 9 of 14 from three, or it could have maybe been, I think the rest of the team was 1 for 12, something like that, but it could have been a little bit nastier situation. We did hang in there. It's anybody's. It wasn't anybody's game. They were definitely the 70% favorite, with 4 minutes left. But that game could have gone the other way with the fortunate break or two. Ochai avoided the charge and missed a bunny, and Juan had that steal on the sideline, and may or may not have got nudged and fell down. There were some things, but even with that being said, we didn't deserve to win that game. The best team won on Saturday.
Saw this a little bit against Tech, but do you think there's any possibility as conference play moves on that you guys could play some more 5-out, 5-guard type looks?
Yeah, I do. We didn't do it much, but we did it. What was it? Last 6 or 7 minutes. I do think there's a possibility we could do that more. That's not how I envisioned it going, but I do think there's a possibility that you could do that more. Iowa State could be a team, depending on who they have at the 5, that maybe you could do that with, because they'll play, obviously, 2 big guys at the 5, which it seems more natural to play a traditional big guy, but they'll also play kind of a 3-4 at the 5 as well. So that could be an opportunity to do some more of that.
Have you liked that look this season whenever you guys have?
Probably not, because we haven't done it enough. Last year I liked it because Jay Will was the guy, but he hasn't really gotten into a flow yet, at least offensively, until Saturday. So maybe I like it more moving forward that he saw the lid come off the basket.
Iowa State's defense.
Good. It's good. It's right there with Texas Tech. They keep it on the side. They play so hard. I think Texas Tech's defense is terrific, and I think that Iowa State's is right there with them. You're there. There's more than this in our league, but you could say Iowa State, Baylor, and obviously Texas Tech, and there's more. So don't get. I'm more than this, but you could say that's 3 of the maybe 10 elite defenses in America right there.
You talk about Otzelberger and what he was able to do. Didn't have any expectation coming in, and certainly has performed well.
Yeah, TJ's done great. He deserved the gig. He's earned his way through it. I've known him quite a while as assistant for, I think going back as far as Fred was he wasn't with McDermott, I don't think, but he's with Fred and then obviously maybe with Steve briefly, then go to South Dakota State and then go to UNLV and then back here. Yeah, he's done it great. And the way he's done it's with an attitude, an aggressive mindset, an attack mode in everything they're doing. And yeah, he should be considered for National Coach of the Year. He's done a fabulous job. You know, the perfect situation to go into as a coach is, you know, you got really good players, but nobody thinks they're any good. And there's no expectations, but you have the capability of winning big. And he didn't go into it with really good players, but he recruited some guys that are really good. Hey, their two starting guards are as good as anybody in our league. I mean, they're good. And so they've done a great job recruiting. Tristan has done a good job for him. Tristan's been a great asset for him. But he's got the players, some of the players has been in their program to play at a much higher level than what they did prior. So he deserves a lot of credit, he and the staff.
It's one thing to take new guys and try to bring them into a place like this where you've been and your staff's been, you have some carryover. But for that to happen with so many transfers and then starting over at a new place like he's done, does that make the job he's done all the more impressive? I
think it makes it a lot, very impressive. But you could, you know, there's something about freshness and newness and enthusiasm and things like that too. So I think that, you know, he's very deserving of top consideration for, not for Big 12 Coach of the Year, National Coach of the Year. I think Mark Adamson is in consideration for Coach of the Year honors too. He's done a fabulous job. Scott's done a fabulous job. There's been a lot of great jobs in our league. But I also believe that it's a good situation to play with house money. And they're not playing with it now. But to start the season, they were playing with house money and got some great wins early. And next thing you know, you start believing that you're good. And that's an exciting feeling when you haven't been good, to see that belief starting to take place. And I saw it firsthand at different places I've been. And it's a fun feeling. And I'm sure their guys are having some fun competing right now.
What does Tristan look like right now on film? I mean, is this opportunity mostly that's given him this?
I think it's opportunity, but I think he's more aggressive. I think he is. I mean, as you guys know, not a better individual that we've ever recruited than Tristan Aruna. And nobody wanted to leave, but it was a better opportunity for him to do that. And now we see that that's true. I mean, it was a good decision for him to do that, even though nobody liked it. And so I'm really happy for him, but I think he's gotten better. I think he's stronger. I think he's more confident offensively, and they're playing him in a way that can take advantage of his size some and athletic ability inside. So I think he's done real well.
Biggest concern for you defensively
right now? Well, I have some multiple concerns. I think that we can actually guard actions. My biggest concern, I think, would probably be being disciplined enough to finish possessions. My concern would probably be defensive rebounding and our inabilities to this point to retrieve the majority of the 50-50 balls. It's always been a given here. If it's a 50-50 ball, we'll get 70% of it. That's been a given. And that has not been. If you look at our team, other than CB, who is a great 50-50 ball guy? And that's something that it seems very, I don't know what to write, crude maybe, in that a big reason why we will get good defensively if we can start just being more active. And that to me is what I see more than anything else.
There have been many occasions with David and Mitch kind of been unproductive in the same game. Your thoughts on, did they do something against them that led to that? And your thoughts on those two moving forward? Well,
I think, we need them both to play well. I think that Tech did a very good job, and we knew this going in. If we were going to play well against Tech, it was going to be from the perimeter. They weren't going to let us play through our bigs to play well. And the few opportunities we had, we muffed them. I mean, we had some opportunities and we muffed them. And in a game like that, it's not a volume game. It's a limited time. if you shoot 20 shots a game and you shoot 3 air balls, you still got 17 more chances. If you shoot 5 shots a game, you shoot 3 air balls, your butt will never play again. At least that game. That's kind of the way that situation was in that game, because there wasn't very many opportunities to really deliver, and you had to take advantage of those opportunities because there weren't going to be many. I'd say the biggest thing, if you want to have me, we can look at what we didn't do to get them the ball, which was multiple things. We can look at maybe what they didn't do sometimes when they received it or before they received it. But the bottom line is Tech was 16-19 on finishes at the rim. That to me is a big factor too. And regardless if you're guarding a non-shooter, how that could be. But they did have a shooter at the 5 a lot because Williams, Bryson Williams obviously was the leading scorer in the game, but not to the point where we couldn't protect the paint and the rim better. I don't believe.
How do you see KJ and Zach fitting in? Grooming themselves where they can play with the big boys in the case?
I think they can. I think they're capable of it. We didn't give them as many minutes in the preseason that you look back now and say, I wish we probably would have given them a few more, but I think they're capable of performing well. The thing about it is, this is how I look at this. The way that Zach came in against Michigan State and just tore it up in 7 minutes and scored 9 points or whatever he did, make 2 threes or whatever it was. That's great, but that can't be our expectation when guys that don't get a chance to play a lot to come in and bail you out. They need opportunities to screw up too and play through those screw ups and stuff. And so, we just hadn't really given them many chances to do that day. But I see, this is sad to say that we're on, what are we, January what's the date? 10th? We're January 10th today, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, which 1 or 2 out of the 4 do we need to play the most? And so we're kind of in that situation still.
It wouldn't be easier to have 5, would it? You haven't given any thought to Cam.
Oh no. That's not. We did that with Ochai, but we knew Ochai could impact it. You don't want to do that. Cam come in, he missed shots and lose a little confidence. Next thing you know, he's not playing at all, and you wasted a year. So that will not happen. I think we'd be better off playing Jalen at the 5 if that were to be the case. But those guys, hey, since I'm feeling like Tony Robbins today, those guys are capable of delivering. There's no reason why our bigs can't get us 20 points and 12 rebounds a game. That is, it's not always going to be that because of ways teams defend us, but that is a capability. That average should occur because those big guys are good enough to do that. I don't, correct me because I don't really know what our timeline is. We say 4 to 6 weeks, and we're right at that number. So I think that there's a chance he could get work back in there pretty soon. But he hasn't practiced enough to probably feel comfortable doing that yet. So he practiced yesterday, he'll practice today, and I hope like heck that there's positive things from that. But to say that he would play, I don't know that I quite feel that yet.
When you say practice, full speed out there?
Well, yesterday was a short practice, but he went full speed for a short amount of time. Yeah.
What have you seen about Brockington, who's really torn things up here? Really have that kind of year at Penn State, and he had success, but his career has really gone up.
Well, he's an athlete, and he can score the ball. He doesn't shoot a ton of threes, but he's making 42% or whatever of his threes, something like that. And he is a strong left-handed player. He loves to get downhill, especially going left. And he's athletic enough that he can finish over bigs. He's got a live body. He's a good basketball player. And the freshman they got is one of the best freshmen guard. They were fortunate when they signed Halliburton. That was an unbelievable freshman guard that they got. This guy's in the same realm of being one of those guys that everybody thought would be good, but he's going to be one of the premier guards in the country.
How's Dave's head mindset
I think it's fine. You know, I think it's fine. I think we overanalyze some things a lot. Sometimes guys just don't play well and their mind's perfect. And sometimes they play really well and God dang, they really weren't quite into it as well. So, but in this particular situation, his mind's good.
How's the lineup experiment going, switching it around? What do you anticipate doing tomorrow?
I don't know, Gary. I told you guys what I was doing in advance last time, and that's all anybody talked about all the way up until the game. It's everybody. So whatever I do, I'll let you guys know right around probably 3:04 p.m. tomorrow. So I think the game's at 3, isn't it? In the game at tomorrow's at 7. Oh God, I'm thinking Saturday. You can tell you where I am. So tracks at 3, so you will not know it. You'll know at 7. You'll know at 7 whenever they do the introductions. Yeah, you check it at 7 tomorrow.
You said yesterday after the game, you weren't going to go 18-2 and we'll go 17-1.
Well, we won't go 18-2 for sure because we're only playing 18 games and we already lost 1. So 17 would be our max out.
After a loss, do you look for a response, or do you look for guys certain ways to see how they're going to rebound, or is that just too much in?
I think the answer is probably a little bit of yes, but also you can't in basketball, in my opinion, put so much emphasis on something that you knew was probably going to happen anyway and make a bigger deal out of it than what it is, even though it's a big deal. But it's a long season. I mean, we played 2 games, and there's one undefeated team in our league, and they've been by far the best team in our league so far this year. So there's a ton of ball left, but Tech's not going to lose very often out there, and that's a hard game. It's one that I felt like we had an opportunity to take advantage of maybe some personnel issues because they were beat up, but they had some guys. You know, you could say the best player in the game was their point guard. He dominated the game with his aggressiveness. So maybe we've been better off playing somebody else and him not getting the opportunity to be the best player in the game. But it's too long a season to put so much emphasis on something where it's January 10th. So that's not how we'll handle it.
Those are any special guests coming in tomorrow?
There is a special guest. We will have from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Coach Roy Williams and his wife Wanda. They will be coming back. They will be there. Roy contacted a couple of guys within our department and said that he really wanted to come back to Allen Fieldhouse and see a game. This happened in a couple of 3 weeks ago, and so certainly he's more than welcome. And you know, I hope that I know they will, because obviously it's a given that they will. But our fans, you know, pay homage and tribute him when he's announced and when they do a little something for him, the way that he deserves to for the 15 great years of service he gave this institution. So, but Roy will be back at a game, and hopefully it won't be the first and the last. I mean, hopefully it'll be this is the first, but hopefully it won't be the last. And he'll be very much like Coach Brown, you know, always feel welcome, and Coach Owens always feel welcome to coming back whenever he wants to.
Where will he sit?
Gary, I'm gonna try to sit him next to you. I would sit him next to you, but you'd wear his ass out. He'd never want to come back. So we'll set him next to somebody that hopefully will be engaging, but not to the point where just totally wearing him out.
Do you expect you to address the team?
No, nothing like that. No.
He hasn't been back in 15 years.
It's not true.
I mean, how many years?
He came back for the 60th anniversary. Yeah. So he came back for the 60th anniversary. But as a head coach or coach in our profession, it's hard to go back to watch somebody else play when you're coaching a team. So there's nothing negative with that. But he did come back. Obviously, he and Coach Owens and Coach Brown came back in 2014 in a fabulous event that we put on honoring the 60th year of our building.
But not a game, right?
No, not a game.
I mean,
That's what I just said. Yeah, not a game. Yeah, this is the first year he's been retired. So it would be the first year he's had an opportunity to come back to it. So,
Let's end on that.
yeah. All right. See you guys.
I don't know, man. You like to show up?